Please subscribe, like, and share. Hit that notification button, and thank you for tuning in to Share the Word. Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Share the Word. My name's Angelica, and today's topic is Noah's Ark. Noah is one of my favorite chapters. It's actually still located in Genesis, which is the first book of the Bible. Before we hit that topic, I wanted to kind of recap with Adam and Eve. So as you guys know, we recapped Adam and Eve on our first episode. But what's really important, what ties Adam and Eve's story to Noah's and Noah's Ark story, is that Adam and Eve had two sons, Abel and Cain. Abel was very noble, was very honest, and always trustworthy, and always surrendered himself to God. Cain, on the other hand, had a little bit of anger issues. Also, he had some resentment towards his brother Abel and a little bit of jealousy. So whenever Abel and Cain would do sacrifices to God, God would always accept Abel's because it was true and honest. However, deny Cain's sacrifice. And one day God had asked Cain, why are you so angry? If you not let go of this anger, then your sacrifice would be just as great. And Cain just dismissed God and was just so angry. So one day, Cain had asked Abel to join him in the fields. And when he did, he killed Abel. He killed his own brother because he couldn't get over the fact that he was in favor in God's eyes. So later on, God returns and asks Cain, where is Abel? And Cain says to God, am I my brother's keeper? Disrespectful. And God says, what have you done? For your brother's blood cries out to me. And Cain just dismisses God with just attitude, and God just, you know what? He punishes Cain. So God curses Cain and says, so now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hands. Alright, you guys, so Cain just killed Abel and God just cursed Cain. So as you guys can see, there's a lot going on right here. And this is what weaves Noah and Noah's Ark into this whole chapter. So pretty much, Cain committed murder. He did his own will. He committed something that was very, very, very violent. So this is a new branch of a new beginning for mankind. Man starts to murder left and right. Alright, you guys, so there was a lot going on with mankind. Men were killing men. It was becoming really wicked, a really dark stage in the earth era and time. God, seeing that this was just developing more and more, he looked into the man's heart and saw that there was nothing but wickedness. And not only that, but this was a constant thought in men. So he needed to do something about it. And this all states in Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. So what does God decide to do? He decides to kill off mankind. For he was ever so sorry that he had ever created them for what they were doing to one another. But have no fear, for Noah was the only man in his generation to find the grace and favor in the Lord's eyes at the time where the Lord was going to wipe out mankind. So thank the Lord for Noah. So this is what God says to Noah. The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. So God tells Noah to go and build an ark, a big boat, and gives him certain instructions of how he wants this boat to look like. But not only that, God tells Noah that he wants 2 of every kind of animals in the ark, the purest of the purest form, but God will send them his way. And he tells Noah that him and his household can also be in the boat. For God, the Lord, has seen righteous in Noah and his family. Noah had did just as God had asked and completed the ark. God had came to Noah saying that it was time. So all of the animals started to arrive to the boat, and sooner or later, the rain started to fall. Noah and his family then retreated to the boat as well and closed the doors. At this time, it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights to make sure the whole world was flooded. Can you imagine it raining for 40 days and 40 nights? Not only that, but can you imagine yourself on a boat for 150 days? Not including the 40 days and 40 nights of it raining. 150 days just being on the boat, waiting for everything to die off. So after being in the boat for 150 days, not including the 40 days and 40 nights, they come to rest on a mountain. So Noah sends out a dove just to make sure the water is down so that way they can let out the animals. Unfortunately, the dove comes back with no plan. So a couple of days later, Noah continues to send out this dove just to make sure that the water is down. Finally, the dove comes back with a small little plant. Once again, Noah waits 7 days and then sends out the dove again to go and look for more plants. The dove never returns, therefore indicating that there is land and the dove does not want to go back to that boat. Now that Noah knows that there's land everywhere, he lets down the doors to the ark and all of the animals go. The first thing Noah does when he hits the ground is perform a sacrifice to God, thanking him for his family and for the rehabilitation of world and mankind. God smells the aroma from the sacrifice that Noah is performing and is moved with compassion for humanity and all creations. So God decides to do a covenant for Noah. This part is so important, you guys. This is the rekindling of mankind with God. Remember, Adam and Eve had separated us from this, right? We lost God's trust and all of the wickedness that God was seeing, he just couldn't. But now it's reconnected and resealed with Noah and Noah's justice and righteousness. And now God is about to give Noah a covenant, which means that he's going to give him a promise to never flood the earth again. Can you guys think what that promise is? Because it becomes a symbol in the sky that we know and see today. It's a rainbow! It is a rainbow! Yes! So the rainbow that we see in the sky is a promise from God that he will never flood the earth again. But it doesn't stop there. God tells Noah to multiply. Multiply on the earth with sons and daughters. And not only that, but they can eat anything that grows from the earth as well. The only thing God tells Noah not to do is drink the blood of any flesh. So just keep that in mind, you guys. Don't drink no one's blood or any blood for that sake. So after receiving this covenant from God, the relationship that's rebuilt from Noah, from mankind to God, just being able to be reconnected, Noah goes out and starts to be a farmer. So this is like years later, right? So for whatever reason, back in the centuries, like Noah lived to be like 950 years old, which is like insane to think about because like we don't even live to be like 150. I don't even think like the oldest person is like 120. I don't know. But the fact is that he lived to be very old. But not only that, he becomes a farmer after saving the world of mankind. And he becomes a farmer and he makes a vineyard, you guys. So he decides to make wine from it. He gets really drunk from it, okay? He gets like really drunk to the point where he becomes naked and he throws himself on the ground, he falls asleep. So his youngest son, this is really important to you guys, his youngest son comes and sees his dad naked on the floor and starts making fun of him. And keep in mind, his youngest son is already old, right? So he has his own kids, his own family, but he's making fun of his dad. And he's just like kind of, you know, pushing down his dad while his dad is asleep, not helping him. And then he goes and tells his other two brothers, Shem and Japheth, about his dad being drunk and naked. So Shem and Japheth hear this and are just like heartbroken. Instead of, you know, converting with Ham and making fun of their dad, they decide to get a cover over their shoulders and walk backwards towards their dad, who was naked, and just lay the cover on their dad, making sure that they're not facing towards their dad. So they never seen their dad naked, they just covered him and make sure that he was okay. When Noah woke up from his sleep, he knew exactly what Ham had did. So he shamed Ham's son, which is Canaan, and said that your son will be a servant to Shem and to Japheth, and forever will be their servants, which is like pretty much cursing Ham's son to Shem and Japheth for what Ham did. Back in the day, there wasn't like Jesus just yet. So when you got punished really harshly. It's kind of like tough love. But the moral of this, you guys, is do the right thing. Don't make fun of anyone. Don't, do the thing that is wrong. For Noah was really angry at Ham. For the number one reason is that they went through all that they went through, killing all mankind for this very purpose, for the wrongful doing of others. So make sure, you guys, that your will, what you do with it, it really matters. Don't put down anyone else. Don't be in that dark and fear and just hatred and darkness. No one wants to be there. No one wants to be that person. Remember, it's much harder to be a good person in alignment and do great things, but in the long run, God will give you all that you desire. But if you continue to do everything in inequity work, you can't see him and nor can he hear you. So just remember that Noah rekindled our relationship with God. God later on, which we'll get there, I promise, God later on sends Jesus Christ to forgive us for all of our sins. So if we fall in sin, we'll be able to be forgiven in Jesus Christ's name now. So remember, we are so lucky to be in this moment in time where we have this ability to be forgiven. It's so important to see the prophecies that these men went through back in the day. And it's so important to understand that you have a prophecy to live in as well. You have a huge choice in life to do with yours or to do with God's. Until next time, you guys, thank you so much for joining Share the Word. My name's Angelica, and our next episode, well, you're just gonna have to stay tuned to see. Moving forward, we're gonna be posting on every Sunday and every Wednesday. Until then, we'll see you next time, and don't forget to pray. The reconnection, the relationship between man and God. No. God smells the aroma of the sacrifice that Noah is doing and is moved with compassion for humanity and for the world and just wants to make a commitment. So after being in the boat for 150 days, the boat finally lands on a mountain. And Noah sends out a dove just to make sure that there's no water around. Unfortunately, the dove comes back empty-handed. Well, not empty-handed, but empty legs. Noble man, and this happens years and years later, right? Because everyone back in the day lived for hundreds of years. So with got it! Please subscribe, like, and share. Hit that notification button, and thank you for tuning in to Share the Word.